The dawn is breaking. The time of cleansing is almost here. Lord Dagon will welcome your soul in oblivion. You are weak, like the gods you pray to. Be glad you will not live to see the day Lord Dagon walks the earth. Only the chosen will survive the cleansing. Ah, not on this day. Watch the flank. Stand ready. A little closer. Talos bless me. Parry and strike. I've sworn to die. Have you? The training of thousands has passed through me. Quickly now. Wrong move. If you need armor, weapons, or just a place to sleep, the barracks in the West Wing is available to any of us. We're all wondering when more of those evil gates are going to open. I'd leave town if I dared. If Captain Bird and the guard can't close that Oblivion gate, then what? Will Bruma be destroyed just like Kvatch? Business is bad with that damn Oblivion gate outside of town. You think things can't get any worse, and then they do. The whole town is on edge with that Oblivion gate open just outside the walls. No worries. Whatever happened at Kvatch won't happen here. I hope the guard can hold off the Daedra, but you think about what happened to Kvatch, and you can't help but worry. Just between the two of us, I wish the Countess would worry a bit more about the security of the city, and a bit less about her damn painting. Cloud Ruler is many things. Temple, fortress, safe haven. But it's also my home. I'll gladly die defending these walls if it comes to it. Farewell! Congratulations on your victory. I admit I thought your plan would lead to disaster, but you came through for Bruma. I won't forget it. I wish I could have been at the battle. It sounds like you taught Mehrunes Dagon's boys a lesson they won't soon forget. I have nothing to say to you. I can't believe it's over. That giant demon... The dragon! What happened? Have we won? Did you see it? The avatar of Akatosh himself? There it is! The monument to our deliverance. We're alive! You did it! You beat that monster! We won! Congratulations on your victory, sir. Congratulations on your victory, ma'am. Sir. Ma'am. Welcome aboard, sir. It will be an honor to serve with you. Welcome aboard, ma'am. It'll be an honor to serve with you. Good morning, ma'am. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good evening, ma'am. Good morning, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good evening, sir. Hail! Paradise awaits me. I do not fear death. Every time I walk past the temple, I'll remember that terrible day and how you and Martin delivered us from destruction. Have you heard the fall of Dagon yet? Take heart, the mighty hero cried. He looked up at Dagon and cursed his foul name. Everyone's talking about the assassination, of course. Here, take my copy of the new Black Horse Courier. Go ahead, keep it. Why doesn't the Elder Council send the Legion to help us? There's no telling when another Oblivion gate will open. All of the other cities have sent aid. It's remarkable. I've never seen such unity of purpose. Your leadership has made all the difference. None of the other cities have sent aid. Bruma stands alone. Only one city has sent aid. My guardsmen are the best in Cyrodiil, but they were never meant to be an army. Several of the cities have sent aid. They're mustering on the plaza outside the castle if you want to review the troops. Most of the cities have sent aid. You've done an excellent job. Die, unbeliever! For Lord Dagon! My blood for the Empire! My sword for the dragon! For Lord Dagon! You cannot escape the Master's vigilance. We're next. I'm sure of it. First Kvatch, now Skingrad. The Daedra won't stop until we're all dead. Hail, Dragonborn! Hail, Martin Septim! Hail! There's someone else here! There's someone else here. Suit yourself, I'm sure it isn't anything important. It's coming back to me now. Yeah, seems I saw someone looking out the window at Gerald's house the other day. Someone I'd never seen before, when Gerald wasn't home. You see what I mean? Now, if you'll excuse me, all this talk has given me a powerful thirst. Thank ye kindly. Really? That is odd. I know for certain that she returned alone. I don't like it. Since you're working with Cloud Ruler Temple, I'm going to authorize you to search Gerald's house. I'll pass the word to my men. We won't interfere. God's blood! So she was the spy? Seems there's no one you can trust these days. Since you're working with Cloud Ruler Temple, I'm going to authorize you to search Gerald's house. I'll pass the word to my men. We won't interfere. I've told my men to keep a sharp eye out, but I've had no reports of any strangers in town. Except for Gerald coming back from a trip down south, things are pretty quiet. Not much travel right now with the Oblivion crisis. What about you? Turned up anything suspicious? Nothing new to report on my end. Have you uncovered anything suspicious? I trust that you'll handle things appropriately. The less I know about it, the better. Well, since I like you, I think there's somebody staying with Gerald. Never seen him, but I've heard her talking to someone, and I've seen somebody at the window when Gerald wasn't home. None of my business, but since you asked, nothing comes to mind. Of course, my memory sometimes ain't what it used to be. Not that I can think of. People are mostly staying home, what with all the troubles in the world.
I know you. You freed me. Free my brothers, if they are still enslaved. Together we will cleanse the shrine of the Underking's foul magic. We have fulfilled our last duty. We go now to Aetherius without shame. Farewell. At long last, you have freed me. Now I can finally complete my lord's last request. I was Valdemar, loyal blade of Emperor Tiber Septim. I do not know how long I have been dead. It feels like an eternity. My 3 companions and I were sent here by the Emperor Tiber Septim to discover what evil had defiled the holy catacombs of Sancor. We did not know that the Underking, who was Zurin Octus, had arisen to take his first revenge upon his former lord. The Underking defeated and ensnared us in his evil enchantment and bound us here to guard forever the defiled shrine of Tiber Septim. No, he departed long ago, but his evil will remains, preventing any from paying homage at the shrine of Tiber Septim. Over the uncounted years of our slavery here, we have brooded over our defeat. I believe that we can undo the Underking's evil magic. I go now to complete my duty to my lord Tiber Septim. Free my brothers, and together we may be able to lift the Underking's curse. Farewell.
We're ready when you are. Let's make these bastards sorry they messed with Bruma. Thanks for coming. Since we had the hero of Kvatch available, I didn't think it made sense to try this on our own the first time. We're ready when you are. Just say the word and we'll follow you into that hell-spawned gate. It was an honor to serve with you, ma'am. Now that I've seen how it's done, I think my guardsmen and I can handle any new gates that open near Bruma. It was an honor to serve with you, sir. Now that I've seen how it's done, I think my guardsmen and I can handle any new gates that open near Bruma. Thanks for your help closing that gate. Don't worry, we can handle anything else they throw at us. What's the plan, sir? What's the plan, ma'am? I think we better get that gate closed. Thanks for coming. We could use your help. All right, give me a minute to talk to the men. Everyone's a bit jumpy right now. We'll hold here until you're ready, although I'd rather not sit around waiting to see what else comes out of that gate. We'll hold this position as long as we can. As you wish. I'll stay here until you get back. As you command, Countess. This is no time for talking. Come on. My men will need all the help they can get today. I'm only the captain of the guard. The Countess makes the final decision, and I follow her orders, whatever I think of them. Send them back to Oblivion. We'll hold the city in case any of them break through.
The Countess has received word from Cloud Ruler Temple that grave matters are afoot. Nothing else concerns her at the moment. Martin Septim! Hail, Martin Septim! Huzzah for the Emperor! Martin! Martin! Martin!
Oh, not again! Leave me alone! Somebody help! No, no! Oh, there's got to be some way to end this nightmare. Run! Oh, for pity's sake, just let us die. Leave me in peace.
Leave us alone. Your quarrel is with Mankar Cameron, not us poor fools. So, you found your way to Gaia Alata at last. Don't we have enough troubles here, without you adding to them?
What do you want, mortal?
Leave me alone. Just leave us alone. We have enough trouble here in the Savage Garden without you adding to them. You're new to Gaia Alata, aren't you? Please, don't let Anaxes loose. He torments us night and day.
He's trapped at the back of the cave. It took us weeks to prepare the trap, and he killed us many times before we finally succeeded. The lesser creatures of the Eternal Garden still torment us, but Anaxes was the worst. He toyed with us, prolonging our deaths for his pleasure. You must not release him, for pity's sake. Only those wearing the bands can enter the Forbidden Grotto. No one who enters the grotto ever returns. Gaia Alata is the Master's name for this place. We usually just call it Paradise. This is the Savage Garden. At the top of that mountain lies the Terrace of Dawn, which leads up to Mankar Cameron's palace, Karakagailor. Beneath the mountain lies the Forbidden Grotto, the only way out of the Savage Garden. Everyone here died in the Master's service. As the Master promised, we are now immortal, like the Daedra. But our life here is a nightmare. The creatures of the garden torment us endlessly. When they kill us, we are soon reborn, and the cycle begins again. No one has yet found a way to leave the garden, except those few given the bands of the Chosen and allowed to enter the Forbidden Grotto. It won't matter. Lord Dagon will soon be able to cross over. The Master's plan will have succeeded. At least Anaxes isn't here to torment us anymore. Watch out for Anaxes. Some meddling fool must have let him loose. Nothing really matters here anyway. I keep hoping that I won't wake up the next time they kill me. But I always do. We will never escape this nightmare. We'll speak again soon, no doubt. Believe me, it was no picnic. But thanks to our friend here, I now know we can close these hellgates. We can defend Bruma. I don't feel like talking right now. What news from Tamriel? The Eternal Garden. I used to dream about coming here. The Master made it sound so wonderful. I wonder how long we've been here. There's no way to keep track of time. Do you think we're safe for a few minutes? I don't see any of them around right now. What? Dawn is breaking. Greet the new day, brother. Greet the new day, sister. Dawn is breaking. Look out! Here comes another one. Stay sharp. I've got that one. If we don't, Bruma ends up a smoking pile of rubble like what happened at Kavach. And that's not going to happen here, not while I'm captain of the guard. Boor, Soren, you're with me. The rest of you stay outside and kill anything that comes out of that gate. Let's show these bastards how we do things in Bruma. All right, boys, listen up. We've got to close that gate over there. Nobody likes the idea of going into that thing, but it's our job, and we're going to do it. I hear the war is going badly. There are some new arrivals here that were caught in the fall of the Great Gate. Any friend of Martin's is a friend of mine. How can I help you? You were Martin's friend, weren't you? You were fortunate to have known him. Greetings, champion. I am at your service. I am honored to speak to the champion of Cyrodiil. What do you need? Did you really face down Mehrunes Dagon himself? They say he stood 200 feet high and crushed the temple dome with his fist. We're all talking about the Emperor's murder. We have no Emperor, and no heir. That's never happened before. I suppose we should all be worried. People are subdued, troubled. A crisis like this tests the people's faith. The Emperor and his 3 sons dead, right under the noses of the Imperial Guard. It's a disgrace. Have you heard about Kvatch? They say the Daedra came from Oblivion and burned the whole city to the ground. Do you think what happened to Kvatch could happen here? I heard that the Kvatch Guard is driving back the Daedra. Maybe there's hope after all. I heard that some cult called the Mythic Dawn is behind the Emperor's assassination. Everyone's talking about the hero of Kvatch. They say she actually went into an Oblivion Gate and destroyed it. Hey, you're the one they call the hero of Kvatch, aren't you? The one that closed the Oblivion Gate and saved the city? Good news from Kvatch for a change. The last of the Daedra have been driven out. Do you believe any of that talk about more Oblivion Gates opening all over the place? They say that Oblivion Gates have opened outside cities all across Tamriel. Gods preserve us. They say a lost son of Uriel Septim has reappeared in Bruma. Troops are flocking to his banner from all over Cyrodiil. To think that Bruma was where Martin Septim chose to reveal himself as the true heir to the throne for the first time. Thank Akatosh, the Oblivion crisis is over. Although with no emperor and no heir, I wonder what will happen to the Empire. I plan to visit the Imperial City soon to pay my respects at the Temple of the One. They say the dragon statue is 100 feet high. Most people consider Martin's, transformation a religious or political event. But what interests me is its metaphysical implications. I wish I had witnessed the avatar of divine Akatosh myself. Imagine, upon the very altar of the Temple of the One. Bruma certainly was fortunate to have Martin and his champion on the battlefield that day. No, they were taken by surprise. I'm sure the Legion has everything under control. I don't know. First the Emperor and his sons murdered, now this. Yet I fear that the worst is still to come. I don't know. I hear that those Oblivion Gates are opening everywhere. They say the Legion is stretched to the limit across the Empire. Very true. My remote numerology apparatus picked up vibrations in the probability lines that continue to this day. Bastards, if I ever got a hold of one of them, I'd put him in the fire like the old days. I heard that Velwyn Benaris is trying to sell off Benaris Manor. Hopefully the new owners will clean that eyesore up. I swear that when I passed by Benaris Manor last night, I heard someone scream from inside. Velwyn Benaris will never sell that death trap. Yes, he just arrived in town recently. I believe he's staying at the King and Queen Tavern. I believe I heard a Benaris is in town. You should check out the Elven Gardens district. A Benaris wouldn't be seen anywhere else. As soon as you bought the place, he pretty much up and left. I hear tell he's making his way to the Imperial City. I'm not sure where he went, but I would ask at the Count's Arms. If anyone knows where he is, it would be someone there. That layabout, you can find him wasting time at the Count's Arms. An all-female gang of thieves has been recently plaguing Anvil with a very unique method of robbing. They pick on only the men. If you want to help us do something about it, go talk to Gogan and Malona. Let's just say Gogan is intimately involved and leave it at that. Don't know if this is true, but I heard a gang of all-female thieves is preying on the married menfolk of the town. You hear about Gogan? A gang of thieves is running a scam in town, and he fell for it. What an idiot. I don't know much about that ghost, but some say he died in a horrible shipwreck. I would stay away from him if I were you. Bad omen. Each night he wanders the shore of Nibbin Bay. Then he stops and looks mournfully out to sea. If you're really interested in it, go talk to Ungarian at a Warlock's Luck magic shop. He seems to know a bit about it. Time's wastin'. He's safe for now. Maybe I know him, maybe I don't. But since you're so interested, I know something that could jar my memory. None of your damn business. I'd tell you if I liked you. And I don't. Yeah, it's a battle axe with the word Dragall carved into the haft. Huge. You can't miss it. I ain't gonna draw you a picture. You're next. Lucky I'm not making you swim. Don't you have something to find? No one tangles with Kurdan. Remember that. Get on that boat and get out of here. You're wasting your own time. Are you ready to go to the boat? Yeah, what do you want? What are you looking at? Get out of my sight before I have you hacked off at the knees. I'm impressed that you killed all my clients. Doesn't matter. More will come along with their purses fat with gold and hearts lusting for blood. Too bad about Alarin. Didn't need him any more now that you're here. At least now he's free of his debt. Eh? You still here? You bothering me again? Fine, but you better not take too long. I want that axe, and I want it now. Fine, I have it waiting for you at the dock next to the magic shop. Now get out of my sight. Then Alaron may not be coming home from his, journey for a very long time. Like permanently. Whenever you're ready, and it better be soon, I'll have a boat waiting for you to get to Fort Grief Island. I just learned that a family heirloom, the axe of Dragol, which one of my stupid relatives lost, is located on Fort Grief Island in Nibbin Bay. If you go there and bring it back to me, I'll tell you exactly where Alaron is. My informant tell me it's hidden in the main keep at the center. Don't know what's guarding it, but I'm sure you can handle it. Do you really think I could afford to let you leave here? The key you found is a fake. No prey has ever left this island alive, and I aim to keep it that way. You were right about one thing, though. This is my game, and I'm changing the rules. Come back when you have the real thing. Nice try. Gawk at me, will you? Just look for the pile of rocks. If you follow the outside city wall, you can't miss it. No proof, no money. Finally, a chance for revenge. If the guards don't like you, then I probably will. By the way the guards tossed you in here, I can see you're no friend of theirs. I don't know who you are, nor do I care. All I know is that I want you to leave. Go away. Sorry, I'm too busy counting the number of rat droppings in my cell. Show me the proof. Until you get out of here and I see an amulet, we have nothing more to say to each other. Our conversations are done. There's nothing else to say. Well, what are you just standing there for? I thought that I was perfectly clear. I guess I was wrong about you. What are you looking at? Poor Arnora. Seems her boyfriend, Jorunder, has stolen some gold from her and left her penniless. Now he's in jail and she's destitute. You hear about Jorunder? He was caught stealing gold and now he's in jail. I bet Arnora's beside herself with grief. Arnora and Jorunder were once a happy couple, but that's over now. I hear that he took all of their money and stashed it after he committed a robbery. He was going to skip town on Arnora, but got arrested before making good on his escape. Now she has no money left at all, poor thing. So, she's dead, huh? Finally! Finally someone has wiped that stupid smug grin off her face. Good, good. I suppose you expect some sort of a reward? I don't think so. I have some gold tucked away, but we never struck a bargain. If I were you, after you're released, I'd get out of Bruma fast, before the guards catch on that they let a murderer free. I'll tell you, I want Arnora dead. That's right, I said dead. She took my life away, and now I want hers taken as well. You do this for me, and you get the gold. All of it. All I need is proof is that damn amulet she always wears. Show that to me, and the money's yours. You want to know what happened? I'll tell you. I was betrayed, stabbed in the back. I'm in here and Arnora's out there, living in my house. We were doing petty crimes all over Cyrodiil. Small scores, 10 gold here, 25 there. Nothing big enough to have them investigate you. Then along comes Arnora with a plan to waylay a tax shipment headed for the Imperial City. We're talking serious gold, complete with armed escorts. I told her she was crazy, but she insisted. Women have a way of getting men to do what they want. So we did it. We ambushed the shipment. In the process, Arnora killed a guard. I told her to be careful and just knock them out, but she didn't listen. We then buried the gold in the woods. Then she disappears to get supplies. Suddenly, the campsite gets raided by the Bruma City Guard. There's no way they could have found us. Oh, there's no doubt she tipped them off. But I was one step ahead. I had moved the loot while she was away. My final revenge. Or was it? 2 amulets? One of them must be a fake. Clever girl. Taught her everything I know. Good thing you saw through her ruse. So she's dead, eh? Ha-ha! Finally someone has wiped that stupid, smug grin off her face. Good. Well, you did your part of the bargain, now I'll do mine. The gold is buried outside the walls of Bruma, near the north gate. Goodbye. I don't expect to be seeing you anytime soon. If I were you, I'd get out of Bruma fast before the guards catch on that she's dead. I'm not talking to you about anything. You're an outsider. I bet you're trying to trick me into telling something and the guards put you up to it. That fetcher of a guard, Terelius, is always trying to be sneaky. Well, you can forget it. Tell him it isn't going to work. So, she's dead, eh? Finally, someone has wiped that stupid, smug grin off her face. Good. Well, you did your part of the bargain, now I'll do mine. The gold is buried outside the walls of Bruma, near the north gate. Goodbye. I don't expect to be seeing you anytime soon. If I were you, I'd get out of Bruma fast before the guards catch on that she's dead. Why don't you come back when you actually have the amulet and stop wasting my time? I suppose I can trust you. In fact, maybe you can help me with a bit of a problem and make some money for yourself in the process. I'm in here for the long haul. They got me for murder, even though I didn't do it. And once the Count makes a ruling, there's no way it's changing. I owe all of this to that heartless, treacherous witch, Arnora. You want the gold? You bring me Arnora's amulet after she's dead. I suppose I can trust you. In fact, maybe you can help me with a bit of a problem and make some money for yourself in the process. I'm in here for the long haul. They got me for murder, even though I didn't do it. And once the Count makes a ruling, there's no way it's changing. I owe all of this to that heartless, treacherous witch, Arnora. I've told you the location of the gold. You did your part, so have at it. As far as the amulets are concerned, keep them. They won't do me any good in here. Ha ha! She fooled you, but good. This isn't her real amulet, but a clever fake. The true amulet has a red stone. Clever girl. I taught her everything I knew. Too bad she's turned that knowledge against me. Come back when you have the real thing. Ever since Ulrich Leyland took over the captain of the guard post, this city's gone downhill. It's getting almost scary to walk the streets. The guards have imposed new ridiculously heavy fines for every infraction under the sun. They almost seem to make up laws just for charging fines. If you can't pay the fine, they can take your property away or toss you in the castle dungeons. Nothing we can do about it, really. If you're interested, go talk to Lavanna Nadaran. She seems the most outspoken against Ulrich and his new fines. I can't believe the ridiculous new fines the guards are imposing. Ever since Ulrich took over as captain of the guard, this place is going downhill. They charged me 5 gold for littering. Littering! I barely make that in a year. These fines are ridiculous. I know I may be out of line by saying this, but I think the city guards may be wrong. It's hard to imagine Braden was a vampire. I could have sworn I saw him outside in the daylight before. Unless he just got that disease very recently, I'd say they were mistaken. When I heard Rainil killed him, I didn't know what to think. But after your visit here, I'm beginning to wonder. Galaborn? That's odd that you should mention that name. Rainil told me that he was the last vampire he hunted. Yeah, that's right. Somewhere in Skingrad, I believe. He said he tracked Gelborn down and killed him. That's apparently why the guards trust him so readily. They had gotten word from Skingrad's City Watch about Rainil and his so-called accomplishment. Hope to see you again, soon. Just look for me if you need anything else. Good journey to you. It's very good to see you again. If you want a room or a drink, I'm your man. Otherwise, I got nothing to say to you. Anything else I can help with, you just let me know. What can I do for you today? Whatever I can do. Hello! Did you hear about Braden Lyrian? A vampire hunter named Rainil Dralis made his way into town, snuck into his house, and killed him. I was at Olav's earlier, and I ran into this Dunmer named Rainil Drales. After a round or two, he told me he was an honest-to-goodness vampire hunter. Have you noticed all the city guards are roaming around the city as if looking for someone? I wonder what that's all about. No news yet, huh? Not sure what happened to him, but I certainly haven't seen him. And nothing else I can tell you about him. He comes and goes and doesn't talk to people much. Rainil's staying in the last room down the hall upstairs. Here's the key. I always liked Braden and Arlene. They were a nice couple. I hope you get to the bottom of this, 'cause I don't believe he was a vampire either. He isn't in right now, so you should be clear to check it out. Just don't tell anyone I gave the key to you. Yes, the vampire hunter. As far as I know, he just showed up recently here in Bruma. Not only that, but he already found a vampire among us. Apparently, Braden Lyrian was one of those vile creatures, and Rainil slew him. Kinda strange, though. I never figured Braden to be a vampire. He seemed to be such a likable fellow. I usually don't give out that kind of information, especially to people I don't know. Ah, you mean that vampire hunter. He's staying over at Olav's Tap and Tack. It's near the city gates. You can't miss it. Safe journey, my lord. Safe journey, my lady. If you have the item my lady seeks, I suggest you bring it to her. She hasn't slept a wink since you departed. I'm sorry. You must speak to Countess Carvane for any further information. Good day. I'm Tolgan, herald to Countess Narina Carvane here in Bruma. She requests your company at your earliest convenience. Good day. I'm Tolgan, herald to Countess Narina Carvane. Welcome back, my lord. Welcome back, my lady. Well met, my lord. Well met, my lady. Countess Carvane would prefer if you speak to her in person. She also said to present you with this stipend as a taste of things to come. My lady holds court from 8 in the morning until 6 in the evening each day. That would be the best time to see her. I'd stay inside the city walls if I were you. There's no telling what's going to come out of that gate. Ever since that gate appeared, the city guards have been on alert. I hope they can protect us. Poor Tivila. I hear she's turning Shadinall inside out looking for her husband, Ryth. I hope nothing bad has happened to him. Ryth Lathandis is one of the greatest painters in all Cyrodiil. Sadly, he's gone missing. His wife, Tivila, is beside herself with grief. I saw Renald Germain's brother earlier. Can't believe they didn't even know about each other. Mystery solved, eh? Reynald had a twin brother. Well, he had all of us fooled. Yes, it's quite odd. Reynald, who I've bumped into several times in Coral, acted like I was a complete stranger. Also, he seemed sober, which is a refreshing change. Usually Reynald is stumbling around Coral drunk as can be. Very odd. But then it's really none of my business.
Renal Germain? No, don't know anyone by that name. There's a Gilbert Germain in town, however. Maybe he can help you. He's staying over at the Newlands Lodge, but you also might find him walking around town. Good luck.
So, thanks to some hired help, the Germains recovered Weatherly. Good thing. I never liked having ogres so close to Coral. So, the brothers have once again reclaimed Weatherly, eh? Good for them. Yes, I've heard of the place, but I'm not sure where it is. I think your best bet would be to speak to Sabine Lowell at the Fighters Guild. She's explored the backcountry outside of Coral quite a bit. There's some strange dark elf in town, asking about Renal Germain and his brother. We've heard the old man's story. Nothing to back it up, though, except the word of those 2 kids of his. No real evidence. Even if it was true, it's out in the forest somewhere. We need to keep what's inside the town walls safe, not go running around outside them. It's out of my hands, sir. The Legion troops will be here when they can. Now, if you'll excuse me, have you seen Valus O'Deal recently? Spends all day in the tavern since his boys left. I saw Valus O'Deal at the Grey Mare again today. Hasn't been the same since his boys took off. My master is a collector of alien antiquities. It has come to his attention that you recently sold an item that interests him. I believe the note will give you all the details. Hey, stranger, can you spare a few coins? I've just been shaken down by that bastard watchman, and he took my last septim. I've heard that you've been asking around about that corrupt guard. Just don't mention my name. I have enough problems. These days I get nervous whenever I see a watchman. Maybe I'll just stay inside.
Did you hear what happened to Ruslan and Laurent? One of the watchmen fleeced them for all their coin.
Oh, it's you again.
Ruslan and Laurent are going around saying that some of the Imperial Watch are corrupt. I'm trying to find Idius Hain. Audens Avidius escaped from prison. The Imperial Watch is asking around for anyone that might have seen Audens Avidius. He's escaped from prison.
I'd like to report a crime. Watch Captain Avidius stole all my money while I was shopping in Jensen's merchandise.
Can I beg a favor of you?
The bastard took every coin I had with me. I don't know his name, but I know his face. Ruslan and I were shopping at Jensen's when he accused us of stealing. We turned out our pockets to prove we were innocent, but he didn't care. And we had to pay the fine, or he was going to march us off to jail. Testify against a watch captain and accuse him of corruption? I don't think I'm willing to risk doing that. This may be the stupidest thing I've ever done, but I'll testify against Audens Avidius. I suppose someone has to stand up to him. I'll find Idius Hain first thing in the morning. This may be the stupidest thing I've ever done, but I'll testify against Audens Avidius. I suppose someone has to stand up to him. Blessings of Akatosh upon you. I don't get paid until tomorrow. I guess I'll just have to wait to eat till then. He's shaken down most of the shopkeepers in the market district. They're all too afraid of him to do anything. Jensen wouldn't even talk about it. Someone ought to do something about him. I have no idea what you're talking about, but you have a sick mind. Get away from me. You are a damn fool. I had a feeling you'd catch on sooner or later. That's why I had this trap prepared for you. If you'll notice, the grave is already dug. This time it wasn't to take something away from the graveyard. It was to add something. I'm afraid all I can offer you is an unmarked grave. Yeah, inventory. I am a simple trapper. My inventory just consists of pelts and skins. I would hardly call that inventory. Now get out of my way. Don't worry, it'll be very soon. Now get out of here. You cut back now, and I'm going to take my business elsewhere. Or maybe pay a visit to that Jensen and tell her about your little scheme. You take what I get. I get notice at the last second, and I have to jump on it. No time to be picky about it. Well, just shut up and listen to me. The next shipment will be sooner than I expected. Just have the money ready. Shh!
Not so loud. How many times have I told you that?
Don't know anyone by that name. Now go away.
Nice work getting rid of them. If you ever need a job as a bouncer, I'm sure I could put in a good word at some of the tougher taverns in town. All I know is there seems to be 4 of them. They blindfolded me before they put me in here, so I didn't see much.
Nice work getting rid of them. If you ever need a job as a bouncer, I'm sure I could put in a good word at some of the tougher taverns in town. All I know is there seems to be 4 of them. They blindfolded me before they put me in here, so I didn't see much. She's ready to sail, don't worry about it. We'll get you back home in one piece. The float has 3 decks. This deck is the inn deck. The next level up is the tavern deck. And then there's the top deck. That's where Ormil's cabin and the ship's wheel is located. We don't take the float out to sea much anymore, but she is seaworthy. Get some rest. Be cautious. Their leader sounds dangerous. I await your return, if you return. Good luck. You'll need it.
Hey, who in Oblivion are you? You don't look like one of the Blackwater brigands.
What are you doing up here? They find the Golden Galleon yet? Move out of my way. Many thanks. I'm preparing the ship for her return. The ship doesn't move till I know that Ormil's safe. Nice work. Top deck clear yet? I'm staying right here, where it's safe. About time someone showed up.
What? I was told there are only 2 others on board. I locked the bouncer in the storage room, and she has the owner. So that leaves you. Now I'll ask again. Who are you? There's no one else in our group except the 4 of us. The Blackwater Brigands don't just take on new members out of the clear blue sky. When we formed the Brigands 3 months ago, I was told no more than a 4-way split on all the profits.
So stop telling lies and tell me what you're doing here. Orders? Celine didn't tell me about this, and I don't remember her taking on someone else to help us find the Golden Galleon. When did all this happen? Damn that woman! She promised a 4-part split when we recovered the Golden Galleon. She never said anything about splitting it 5 ways. She said when we got back to the safe house in Breville, we would divide the loot after she fenced the damn thing. Do Lynch and Minx know about this? Well, since they're out of the way, if I kill you, that means Celine and I split the take 2 ways. This heist is getting better and better. I don't mean to gossip, but he is more than a bit strange. However, he's always been tolerated as the town eccentric. Glarthier is acting even stranger than usual, don't you think? He turned up dead. I guess someone finally got tired of his crazy behavior. Well, the town eccentric lives in the big house on the corner, southwest of the chapel. Don't worry, he's harmless. It's too bad nobody stopped Glarthier before he went on his killing spree. I guess no one knew how crazy he really was. It's unbelievable. Glarthier went after Tutius Sextius with an axe, killed him before the guards could do anything. No one even knows why. You must not have heard. He went crazy and killed David Cerili with an axe. Nobody can figure out why. Did you hear? He went crazy and started attacking people with an axe. Luckily, the guards stopped him before he killed anyone. Hadn't you heard? He went crazy and killed Bernadette Pinellas. Poor girl. Did you hear about Glarthier going crazy and attacking people with an axe? Did you hear about Glarthier? Thank the 9 that the guards stopped him before he killed someone. A cure? You mean besides death? Such a thing is beyond our control. The body is so warped by vampirism, few would be able to revert its effects. Even fewer would care to try. The Guild of Mages might know more. Speak with Romanus Polus. He may be able to guide you. Have you been near Rosentia Galenus' house recently? Smells horrible. Like she left some meat out to spoil. I was walking past Rosentia Galenus' house the other day,
and I heard these strange animal noises or something from inside. Very odd. Did you hear that Dharma has disappeared? Seedneus is worried sick about her daughter, Dharma. If you think you can help, you'll find her at her shop, Northern Goods and Trade. Yes, Seedneus is worried sick about her. I hope nothing has happened to her. Sweet girl, but naive. Did you hear the bad news? Dharma's daughter was killed by some strange cultists down in Hackdirt. Terrible, terrible times we live in. Did you hear that Dharma came back safe and sound? You know, Seedneus' daughter, the Argonians. Yes, Seedneus was so worried. Nice to get a bit of good news for once, isn't it? Oh, don't get me wrong, some of my best friends are elves. But self-important jerks like Ankatar give them all a bad name. Hey, do you mind not trampling on my crops? What do you want? Hey, you're the one who made us visible again, right? Good show. You got a lot of nerve showing your face around here after what you'd done to us. The night of the theft, I was in the Great Hall, having an argument with a delivery boy from Braville. It seems his horse lost its footing in the heavy rain we had that night, and the shipment of port that it was carrying slipped to the ground. Oh, the fall broke most of the bottles. He didn't want to claim responsibility, but I gave him what for and sent him away. After that, I spent the rest of the night in my quarters, reading. Who do you think you are, questioning me? I'd just as soon ask a goblin maiden to a dance than to answer your stupid questions. Back to work for poor old Orgnolf. No rest for the weary Orgnolf. So, you a living statue, or are you going to say something? I suppose I should be happy to see you again. I'm not. Oh, it's Valga's errand boy. How goes the big, important investigation? What do you want? Hey? What? You again? I can't believe that the Countess is more obsessed with that painting than the Oblivion Gate threatening the city. I heard that the Countess is quite upset lately. Apparently someone stole something very personal to her. Then get away from me and get back to your duties, so I can do mine. Countess Valga is up in arms about the painting being stolen. We're supposed to keep an eye on things until it's found. I hate when the Countess gets angry. No liquor rations for us. Things seem back to normal now. Glad the painting was recovered. The investigator the Countess hired failed to find the thief. I almost feel bad for her. Well, I suppose I should congratulate you on returning the painting to the Countess. I won't. Aye, it was a fine portrait of a fine man. I'm Mogan's windshifter. I'm having a look around. You mind? No, who are you? I hear the Count's got someone to sort out that business with Mazuga, the so-called knight. The Countess is in attendance. Please observe proper etiquette. The Countess is in attendance from 8 o'clock in the morning until noon, and then again from 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 8 each day. If you wish to seek audience with her, please return at that time. You're also welcome to wait anywhere in the Great Hall. Good day. Hope to see you again soon. Just look for me if you need anything else. Safe journey, milord. Safe journey, milady. So long. I wonder if it's too late to ask for less rat in tomorrow's dinner. She was an evil, evil woman. Maybe I'll never see the sun again, but neither will our Nora. Back to work for poor old Orgnolf. No rest for the weary Orgnolf. You're welcome on board the bloated float any time. I've never seen my lady so happy. You've done well. We have nothing to discuss. I'm not interested in speaking with you. Well, this saves me a bit of trouble. Alaron's dead, even though I planned to kill him anyway. So, that just leaves you. Let the game continue. Thanks for doing my work for me. Nothing like having someone else do your dirty laundry. Thanks, you idiot. Hello and well met. Welcome back, milord. Welcome back, milady. You're always welcome here. Something the matter with your eyes? There will be if you keep gawking at me like that. Oh, the big tough slayer has returned.
tremble in fear. What's your problem? I heard that Velwyn Benaris was killed. The manor claims another victim. The new owner sure has turned Benaris Manor around. It's now a welcome addition to our city. I have it on good authority that the City Watch sent someone to stop that gang of women from robbing the town's men. Good show, I say. So the mighty Ulrich Leyland has fallen. Apparently Levana Nadaran snapped and killed him. Good riddance, I say. Did you hear the news? Ulrich Leyland was thrown into the dungeons for stealing money from the city coffers. Ha ha ha! Justice for the little guy.
I guess Rosentia Galenis got rid of whatever barnyard animals she was keeping inside her house. Smells much better now.
The honor blade has been returned to the castle after all these years. This is certainly a good omen. Raith Lathandis seems to be back in town. Wonder where he was off to. Arnora was killed. Such a shame. I wonder if Jorundr had something to do with it. I wouldn't put it past him. I'm glad that scum got what he deserved. Good riddance. Sad that Rainil slipped away like that.
So, you both tricked me, and now you're here to mock me. Fine, fine. I hope you were happy working with that deceitful wench.
I'm sure she tried to con you out of half the money. Can't say I'm sad to hear about Terrelius either. Good work, good work. Are you still talking? Find us work and money.
Fortune and fame, friend. May riches fill your pockets, friend. I scour the land, seeking fortune for Gortwog and Orsinian. Someday all will recognize the true wealth of the orcs. You too seek wealth, do you not? May you find it, and may tales of your journey be legendary. Well met, traveler. Are you seeking treasure as well? Gortwog demands riches, so all of Tamriel will respect Orsinium. So we search the lands and bring home whatever we find. This makes Gortwog happy. I must return to my task, for Gortwog waits. May you find all that you seek, traveler.
Thank you, kind sir. Thank you, kind lady. Blessings of Julianus upon ye. Blessings of Akatosh upon ye. Blessings of the Shadow upon ye. Blessings of Anu upon ye. Blessings of Mystara upon ye. Blessings of Arkay upon ye. Blessings of Stendar upon ye.
I'm only asking for enough to feed me kids. One more coin, and I can get a pair of shoes.
Please be generous, kind sir.
I can see you are a kind soul, gentle lady.
I'm so hungry.
I can eat for a day with a single coin. Me children will thank you for your help.
I'm saving up enough for some medicine.
Have mercy, just one coin. Can you spare a coin?
Have pity, sir. I got's nothing to eat.
Have pity, beautiful lady. I got's nothing to eat. A coin for an old beggar? Me children are starving. Please help. Have pity on an old war veteran. Spare a coin for the infirm. I'm only asking for a single coin.
Who will help an old beggar? I think I trust you enough to tell you this secret. To learn more about the Grey Fox, go to the Garden of Deraloth at midnight. Look in the waterfront district of the Imperial City. I can say no more. Are you looking for him?
He's a fairy tale. The Imperial Watch pretends there is a thief king named the Grey Fox who controls all the thieves in Cyrodiil. Course, it's all just made up to give them an excuse to keep us down.
I've eaten many meals there, and I've always been satisfied. I like the Flowing Bowl. Manlorn and his brother are excellent hosts. I enjoy a good bottle of wine, and Wilbur always has a nice selection. I've had many good meals at the Count's Arms. I've had even more good bottles of wine there. He's a nice fella, but he couldn't even get the sign for his store spelled right. He's not the smartest man, but he's a nice guy. I just hope he can keep his business afloat. I've never wanted to join up, but I understand Azan is a good man. I've heard Azan is an excellent fighter. I'm not planning on joining up, but if I did, I'd like to work for him. I understand he's good, but you have to be a member of the Fighters Guild for him to train you. I don't really have any interest in learning how to use a blunt weapon, but I understand he's very good. I wouldn't mind learning something, but I don't want to join the Fighters Guild to do it. You can never know too much about how to handle a sword. He's quite the pugilist. I wouldn't want to mix it up with him. A little skill with a shield can save your life. Of course, she'll only train other Fighters Guild members. I know that skill with a shield can be invaluable. I don't think I want to join the Fighters Guild to learn, though. I just don't trust those mages. I especially don't trust ones who can play with your mind like that. From what I know, Carahil is a powerful mage. I suppose she should be if she's going to be in the Mages Guild. I don't know what would possess him to do that. Marrying a Bosmer is just wrong. Pinarus is an impressive tracker. I'd like to see if he can teach me a bit about using a bow. Learning a bit about alchemy would be handy, but you have to be in the Mages Guild for Felon to train you. It might be nice to learn how to make better potions. Those destruction spells are dangerous. I hope the Mages Guild keeps a tight lid on that. Destruction spells can cause a lot of damage. Knowing enough could make you a dangerous person. I've heard that Mirabelle spends a lot of time with the sailors. A lot of personal time with them. I've heard a lot of stories about the forecastle. None of them good. He's in great shape, that's for sure. Maybe he could teach me something about his training regimen. He's an odd one. Drinks like a fish, but runs like a rabbit. You don't see a lot of human Bosmer marriages. I don't know if it's even legal in Cyrodiil. You could learn a lot from Pinarus. That woman is a bit off-kilter. I don't even want to know what she's got in her basement. She's a nut. Whatever's going on in that house, I don't want to know about it. She travels a lot to research her books. She's in great shape from all that travel. Maybe she'd teach me a bit about getting into shape. She seems like a good person to talk to. I imagine she could teach me a lot. It's impressive. I imagine he'd be a good person to talk to about it if you wanted to learn the skill. Nasi is quite a character and quite an impressive fighter. I always enjoy speaking with Nazi. His views on the world are different than most. I've heard Tadros Hellas does excellent work. Perhaps that's why she's always so busy. Tadros is a fine smith, but I understand she only offers services to other Fighters Guild members. I believe Kudai is in charge of the Mages Guild here in Bravil. She seems very well liked by other members. I've heard she's quite a talented mage, with an extensive knowledge of illusory spells. Ardeline makes excellent potions. I imagine she would, since she teaches alchemy at the Mages Guild. She's an excellent alchemist. I understand she teaches the trade for Mages Guild members. Ita should know a lot, especially since she's in charge of magical transport. Since Ita is in charge of magical transport for the Mages Guild, I would assume she's traveled extensively. Her skills with destruction spells are supposedly impressive. I understand Kudai has her teaching them at the Mages Guild. I understand Mars wants to return to Black Marsh. She only stays because she feels needed here. He should be burned to the ground. All those skooma-muddled Khajiit laying around all day. It's disgraceful. I can't believe nothing has been done yet. The place is a skooma den, pure and simple. She really is a gifted orator. I wish she'd teach me how to do that. Uravasa is an excellent speaker. Her sermons are always quite enlightening. I've been told that she really wants to return to Argonia, but her services are so useful here, she feels compelled to stay. I don't have a lot of interest in conjuration myself. I suppose if I did, I'd want to talk to Fathis. I know Kudai will keep her in check. She even has her teaching her spells to other Mages Guild members. I believe he's always looking for new members, but I don't think it's for me. Yes, he's a very clever man. Something not quite trustworthy about him, though. I don't know him very well. I've heard he's a nice enough fellow. I've seen her in the canals a number of times. Other times I've seen her sneaking around the city. She's a bit strange, but I've heard she's rather good at not being seen, if you know what I mean. I hear she's a very private person. I also heard she knows a lot about using light armor. She tends to keep to herself, that's for sure. That's too bad. She's ridiculous. I suppose some may find it amusing, but not me. It's awful. I feel terrible for her husband. He must be so ashamed. I don't know how he does it. It's no wonder he spends so much time at the tap and tack, though. Oh, he's a saint. Sure, he spends a bit of time at the tap and tack, but you can't blame him. He's good. We're lucky to have him. A good healer makes for a happy town, and Sirach almost seems like another Nord to me. It seems an odd skill for a priest. Not your average skill for a priest, but I suppose there are those who will always want to learn. Rightwind certainly can handle a blade. No wonder he trains other Fighters Guild members. She seems gifted with a blade. Can't blame the Fighters Guild for having her train others. She moves really well in that armor, that's for sure. She seems skilled in its use. I can see why the Fighters Guild has her training others. Olaf makes everyone feel welcome. It's hard to complain. Food is good and the service is excellent. Hafid takes care of his customers. It's a bit expensive, though. I've heard that Jaskar has great skill at making things explode. Those are dangerous skills for a novice. I hope he trains people well. I've heard many of Alga's stories. She's got a real gift for telling a tale. She's the best bard I've ever met. Of course, being a bard is almost as bad as being a pilgrim. There's no future in it. Can't say I know him very well. I understand he'll train people to cast illusions for a price. I wouldn't call him a friend. Still, if I wanted to learn more about illusions, he's the one I'd ask. I've heard a number of stories, none of them good. I understand she might have been a hired assassin. Apparently, she was wanted in Skyrim for murder, shot a man dead from over 300 yards. Hard to believe. I've had many a good night in the place. He must really know all the fighters by now, and from what I've heard, he knows a good bit about alchemy as well. I don't know why the guards haven't taken care of her yet. She's a disgrace to our whole city. Poor Olfand. He sure got his hands full between smithing and training in light armor. I don't know how he does it. He keeps busy repairing weapons, training light armor techniques, keeping track of Skjorda. He's certainly become more like a Nord over the years. Quite a competent healer, too. It's almost as if he grew up in Skyrim. I don't think the church likes it, but his healing skills are invaluable. It hardly seems appropriate for a priest of the 9 divines, but they put up with it. Seems odd, given his vocation. Still, I suppose there's no harm. He's talented. The Fighters Guild could do a lot worse. I can imagine he's a good teacher. The Fighters Guild should be proud of him. She's quite a warrior. It's amazing how well she moves in heavy armor. It takes a skilled fighter to move well in armor that heavy. I've had many meals there. Olav is an excellent innkeeper. Hafid has a nice inn. I wonder if he doesn't drink away most of his profits, though. It's a good place to stay. Hafid is quite a good proprietor. I suppose that's just the kind of person you want training other mages. I wouldn't cross him. I've heard he's very skilled. Much as I dislike bards, I wouldn't mind learning a thing or two from her. She can spin a yarn, that's for sure. I've heard he can teach his skills to others, for a price. I understand he's willing to train others, but it can cost more than a few gold. I'm not surprised with the way she handles a bow. I don't know about her past. All I know is that she's really good with a bow. I wouldn't mind learning a bit from her. He loves the place. I've also heard he's quite an accomplished alchemist. It's a fine place, and Olav treats people well. Certainly seems to be his passion. I understand he used to be quite an alchemist. I wonder if he'd teach me more about that. Hey, you look just like your statue. What can I do for you? I heard that you helped the guard close that Oblivion gate. Thanks. We were getting worried about that damn thing. Sirach is a good healer. He's a red guard, but you'd think he was a Nord the way he acts. Apparently, Rightwind teaches his blade skills to other Fighters Guild members.
Hafid Hollowleg says that Gerald View has been doing good business. Olga sure can tell a good story. I'm not normally a big fan of bards' tales, but she's got some good ones. I've heard Edla Darkheart was once an assassin. She holds public audience in the Great Hall on weekday mornings. If you need to speak to her, that's the time to do it. How does Ulfand manage to be a smith, trainer, and babysitter? Isn't Ulfand amazing? He's an excellent smith and good at teaching light armor skills. Isn't Sirach an excellent healer? Aren't we lucky to have a skilled healer in town? Have you heard that Arentus Falvius can summon creatures? Is it true that Arentus Falvius will teach people conjuration? Have you seen Rightwind practicing with his sword? Very impressive. Isn't Rightwind an impressive swordsman? Is there a better person to learn heavy armor skills from than Bumf Gragash? Did you know that Bumf Gragash will train you to use heavy armor, but only if you're a Fighters Guild member? Did you know that Jaskar trains other Mages Guild members in destruction? Have you ever wanted to learn to use destructive magic? I hear Jaskar can teach you. Do you enjoy spending time at Olav's Tap and Tack? Isn't the Tap and Tack a relaxing place to visit? Don't you think Hafid Hollowleg does a good job at Gerald View? Is there a more gracious host in Bruma than Hafid Hollowleg? What do you think about all of Skjorta's antics? Can you believe how Skjorta acts? Have you ever heard Olga tell her tales? Isn't Olga a good storyteller? Have you ever spoken to Jontus Brolus? Do you know Jontus Brolus, the spell sword? Do you know anything about Edla Darkheart's past? Have you heard the rumors about why Edla Darkheart left Skyrim? I've bought a few things at Machnaz, but he's always so surly. He runs a nice store, but Machna is a grouchy old man. I don't like to talk to her. All she wants to talk about is herself. I hope she takes care of herself as well as she takes care of others. He's quite an accomplished brawler. I wonder if he'd teach me something about it. He's good with his fists, no doubt about it. He'll teach you something for the right price. I can't imagine why someone would act the way he does. He's an ass. There's no excuse for his behavior. I don't even like to walk by that place. Rumor has it he joined the priesthood to avoid military service. What a coward. I heard he became a priest to avoid becoming a soldier. I find her annoying. She's way too full of herself. Quite the big talker. She's very dedicated. We would be lucky to have more people like her around. I've heard that she's always wanted to compete, but her parents are against it. Dietzen loves to talk about his guild. It's good that he's proud of his work. He always wanted to be in the guild. Good that he was finally made a member. Well, they're obviously very fond of one another. It's clear that they're in love. Good for them. She loves her dogs, no question about it. I'm impressed with how she handles dogs. She handles people pretty well, too. There's something about that place that's just a bit off. The gate may be closed, but some say you slew the Count's son in the process. Is this what defines a hero? Me? I'm Magog Gra Orim. Borba and me, we were pals in the adventuring trade. Now I help him run the store. If you're looking for armor, you should speak with Tercia Vedusia. That Rakonar seems a bit shady to me. He does a good job on the horses at the castle, though. That Gruyan Garana is really full of herself. She'll talk your ear off if you let her. Gonradel can teach you about acrobatics for a price. Of course, she'd rather be training her dogs. Have I seen her there? Of course. She certainly loves a good fight. I was in there just a few days ago. Rasheda's prices are very reasonable. I haven't been in a while, but it's always nice to stop in and chat with Rasheda. Plus, she always gives a better deal to her friends. Odd noises? No, I haven't. That sounds a bit troublesome. I thought I heard something the other night. None of my business, though. Odd folks, the way they dote on those dogs. They're not hurting anyone, though, so it's no concern of mine. I've seen them. Everyone likes a good dog,
but they're an odd couple. I've made some bets, won some, lost some. Not much for wagering myself. Of course, I always seem to lose. I've made a few bets, made some good money, actually. I haven't done too much betting. Can't say I know enough about the folks fighting to make a smart wager. Do I like the fights? Of course. Everyone likes the fights. The thrill of battle, the sting of defeat. A wonderful time. Horrible things, those arena matches. Simply bloodshed for the sake of bloodshed. Barbaric, I tell you. I thought about it when I was younger, but it just wasn't for me. I never really thought about it. They just didn't seem like the sort of folks I wanted to spend time with. I've often thought about joining the Fighters Guild. I've heard you can make a good living there. I've never really thought about it. I've heard the money is good, but that's a bit too much risk for me. Well, of course, there's always something there I need, and Seed Neas gives a fair price, especially to his friends. I haven't needed anything there in a while. I'm sure I will soon, though. Certainly I've spent time there. Talisma runs a good, quiet inn. I've had many meals at the Oaken Crozier. Sure, it may not be the best in all Cyrodiil, but it suits me fine. I bought a fine mare from him once, a fine animal. I'm not much of a rider. I've heard others swear by his animals, though. He did? Excellent. I wonder if he's got The Lusty Argonian Maid in. I've been dying to read that. New books? Who has the money to afford all those books? I know I don't. No, I haven't. I've heard that he really knows his way around, though. I spoke to him recently. He really knows his way around. Knows every tree, rock, and cave in the area. I don't see a problem with those two. It's a bit odd, but that's their business. It is awful. Her poor mother. What is Glistel thinking? I've never run into her there, but I can't blame her for enjoying the matches. Almost everyone likes them. Yes, I've heard the Fighters Guild offers some wonderful opportunities. I've never had much interest in the Fighters Guild. Must we talk about the Fighters Guild now? The Mages Guild is, indeed, a fine organization. Yes, I've heard some of the finest mages in Tamriel belong to the Mages Guild. I've never been that interested in the Mages Guild myself. Coral is a wonderful town. I know Coral is the best town I've spent time in. It's true, Coral has almost everything you could need. Yes, Renoir does have a fine assortment of books. I should visit Renoir's more often. I've heard that Renoir has a good selection and at reasonable prices. I'm not much of a reader myself. I had heard he was looking for some help. Yes, I like the Grey Mare as well. It's a fine place. It's true, some fine horses he has. I've heard he knows his way around. People say he's very familiar with the area. It's a nice place, and you're right about Talisma. I've always liked the Oaken Crozier. I don't know Talisma that well, though. I've always been happy with the weapons I've bought there. Rashida does a good job keeping fire and steel stocked with good weapons. Maybe not the best in Tamriel, but good. Luckily, I haven't had to make use of their services. Still, it's good to know the chapel is there. It's a fine chapel, and a fine group of healers as well. It's true, I've seen her there on occasion. Who can blame her? The arena matches are good sport, and there's good wagering to be had as well. Do you think? I've never noticed anything. I've suspected that as well. Still, it's not a bad place. Very true, you can find almost anything you need there. Can't say I've done a lot of shopping there, but I've heard good things. No question about it, and Seed Neas is an excellent proprietor. Not a bad idea if you're looking for work. Not me. I've got plenty to do at home. I don't know much about the man, but I've heard he's an excellent warrior. I haven't really spent any time around him. I find him a little frightening, actually. I've heard there are good trainers there. Costs a bit of coin, though. I'd rather go out and practice on my own. It's not always easy to find a good trainer. That's a good place to look. I've heard good things about the mage trainers there. I've never spent time at the Mages Guild. I've thought about it, though. I haven't done much betting, but I hear some folks have made a good bit of money. Maybe I should start betting with Hundelin as well. I like dogs, but it's a bit excessive with those two folks. I've never been a huge dog lover myself, but some people really love them. Can't say I've heard anything myself. Still, that's odd. Strange noises, you say? How very odd. I haven't heard it myself. Strange noises. They should have the guards look into that. I've liked some of Scribonia's work, haven't read everything, though. I'd like to read Scribonia's work. I just wish I had more time to do it. The whole thing is a big shame. She's such a nice young girl. I don't see a problem with it. Perhaps they're in love. You're right, it's shameful. Still, what is anyone supposed to do? It's her life. Emfred? She owns the Grey Mare, right? I go to the Oak and Crozier. I'm a captain, you see, and the Oak and Crozier serves a better class of people. Listen to me. I sure sound like a snob. Snooty, in fact, and not very nice. Thanks. That's a very good suggestion. I think I'll stop by the Grey Mare and perhaps pay my respects to this Emfred woman. Well, that's just my opinion. Brave deeds, friend. Taking the fight to oblivion itself. I salute you. Things could always be worse, and probably will be. I'm Kurz Grobaroth. What can I do for you? I'm Lum Grobaroth, the cheerful one. My brother Kurz? He's not so cheerful. Well, ain't you the high Tom Titty? You want something, I guess, or you wouldn't be messing up my air. Oh, you shouldn't have. That's very kind of you. Really? How thoughtful. It's been a long day. Quite pleasant to look forward to seeing you here. I really must thank the one who recommended you, and the Grey Mare. Always a splendid feast for my spirits, and the food is good, too. After a long day up at the castle, it's refreshing to spend a time with someone as charming and thoughtful as you. The local tavern is a good place to find work. I get paid to kill things. That's why I like the Fighters Guild. You have to admit, this is a good place to live. Friendly folks, I think. I just feel safe living here in Coral. I mean, we have the head of the Fighters Guild right here in town. I've heard they have good magic trainers over at the Mages Guild. I read one of Castas Scribonia's books not long ago. Terrible stuff, if you ask me, but some folks seem to like it. I think Rena Bruyant may actually love dogs more than her husband. Strange couple, those two. You know, Bongond has some fine horses for sale over at the Grey Mare. Too bad he's such a pushy man. Thanks, Stendar, for the chapel here in Coral. A lovely place, and the healers are excellent. That modern Orion has got no sense of humor. Hell of a warrior, though. No wonder he's done so well in the Fighters Guild. Good to see you again, sir. Shall I escort you upstairs to see my master? If you'll just follow me, I will take you directly to my master. Good to see you again, ma'am. Shall I escort you upstairs to see my master? Graman Gromarad. I'm a bouncer for the Bloated Float. My wife, Umag, is a night guard for Master Umbacano. You're talking to Algot the Northerner. Guess you've got nothing better to do. Jolring the butler. I've served Master Umbacano for many years. Herbal Gro Orkel knows you need axes and blunt weapons, big ones, so he makes them and sells them here. Slash and Smash, the big orc weapon shop. Big weapons for big heroes. Dul Gro Shug. I could show you a thing or two about security, for a small consideration. I'm sorry. Laurent Groglerzog is my name. I don't get about very much, for various reasons. Graman Gromarad. I'm the nightman on the Bloated Float. Uzul Grogrulam. I'm courting Mavrina Arano, so stay away from her. I got matrimony on my mind. The King and Queen is a nice place. The Marillans treat everyone well. They say they treat all their patrons like royalty. From what I've seen, it's the truth. If you need to learn how to use light armor, Gro Shug is the one to talk to. He can teach you a lot about using light armor. She's something else. I've heard she'll train others as well. She's impressive, and she'll train others. He still teaches, though he lost his passion for it after the Levitation Act was passed. Can't say I blame him. He's getting up in years, but he's still a good alteration teacher. She's nuts. Her hobby is falling from high places. If you want to learn to fall off a building, she's the one to talk to. He's a sneaky one. I understand he'll teach others to be sneaky, too. If you can find him, he can teach you a lot. I've heard he's good with a lockpick. Rumor has it that he'll teach others to pick locks. It's the finest place in the city, simply an excellent inn. If you're looking for luxury, there's no better place to stay. Apparently, he can teach you the basics of lockpicking. If you're just learning how to pick a lock, he's a good man to talk to. I've heard there's no one in the city better at opening locks. He can teach you how to steal the boot right off a lich. Not my favorite horses, but the Statlilia stables are certainly reputable. I've never wanted one. Still, they do seem to be some fine horses. Can't say I've spent much time there. I hear it's nice, though. It's the best place in the city for alchemical ingredients. I've never used his services, but I hear he's a good teacher. He's as good as you'll find in the city when it comes to heavy armor. If you want to learn about heavy armor, Varnado is the one to talk to. I've never bought one there, but I've heard many mages swear by the place. I imagine it must be good, since it's been in business so long. I've sold some things there. Thoronir is an odd one. If you can get used to Thoronir, you can find some good deals there. I try not to eat there, at least since the last time. It's not my favorite place, but if I'm really hungry, it'll do. Cicero, Sergius, and Tertullian run a good shop. I've shopped there many times. The brothers never fail to please. No real question what Herbal is going for there. He's got weapons. Big weapons. It's an apt name. He's got big maces and big axes. Herbal is a big fan of killing things thoroughly. I've heard it's the best light armor in the city. I haven't spent time there, but if you're looking for light armor, Best Defense is the place to go.
I understand that Venetia takes a lot of complaints, but nothing ever comes of them.
I'd rather have someone else just repair it. I'd hate to have to take time to repair my armor when I'm doing something else. She's certainly good. I'm glad she's willing to teach others. She's the best in the city, and she'll teach others. It'll cost you, though. It's the only place to go for books. Phintius has a good selection, and he'll find some rare books as well. There are some things you shouldn't skimp on. Spells are one of them. Discount spells. I'd just as soon buy a slightly used shield. If you're looking for a shield, there's no better place than Stonewall. Stonewall is the best in the city when it comes to shields. One man's trash soon becomes another man's trash, I suppose. Jensen's isn't bad, especially if you need to make a quick couple of septims. I've shopped there a few times. If you're looking for soul gems, that's the place to go. I haven't spent too much time there. I hear it's the place to go for enchanting supplies, though. I've never shopped there, but I know she carries good alchemy equipment. I've browsed Claudette's shop, but I haven't spent a lot of time there.
I've read it. Terribly written, sensationalistic tripe, if you ask me. I read the thing once in a while. Mostly I use it for kindling. There's no telling whether anything in it is actually true.
Venetia may have the worst job in Cyrodiil. She takes complaints all day, and nothing ever comes of them. The King and Queen is a fine place, and it's much more reasonable than other places in town. The Marillans say they treat everyone like royalty at the King and Queen. I understand he'll teach light armor skills. He's really skilled at using light armor. Luckily, he's willing to train others to use it as well. She jumps like a toad. She'll also teach others how to do it. She's pretty amazing. Plus, she teaches others how to do it. He's getting older, but he can still teach a bit about alteration. He's been teaching it since before the Levitation Act of 421. He still teaches others, though. Of course, you have to try to avoid all the old man dust. She likes jumping off things. That's because she's an idiot. Maybe she could teach me how to fall off things. That's a useful skill. Much better than, say, swinging a sword or casting a fireball. I've heard that he stood in one place for hours just to teach himself how to be sneakier. Sounds boring, but whatever works for you. I saw him once, and then I didn't. How about that? I understand he'll teach others to pick locks. If everyone knew how, we wouldn't have to carry around so many keys. I'm glad he's willing to teach others. Lock-picking has gotten so much harder recently. It's more interesting, but it's harder. It's probably the finest inn in all of Cyrodiil. I can't imagine that there's a finer establishment in the entire city. He's calmed down a lot. Can still teach you how to pick a lock, though. It's true that he's settled down. Still, he can teach you the basics of lockpicking. He's forgotten more about picking locks than most people will ever know. If he'll train you in picking locks, you're probably already pretty good at it. I don't know what a paint is. It's a type of horse, right? It must be. I prefer a bay. Ogier runs a good shop. His ingredient selection is excellent. If you need ingredients, it's a great place to shop. He's certainly a talented smith. I'm glad he'll train others in the skill. He knows a lot about it. Plus, he'll teach others how to use heavy armor. Rindir always keeps a fine selection on hand. It's almost as if he knows my skill level perfectly. Thoranir is quite a character. He's dirty and underhanded, but he provides a service. And they sure do sell food. Yup, you can buy food there. I don't know which is which. Still, it's a good shop they run. Lots of big weapons there. Herbal always has some in stock. If that's what you're looking for, there's no one better to talk to than Maro. She takes all the complaints, but nothing ever seems to happen. I've heard he'll teach his skills for the right price. She's the best I know. Luckily, she'll teach you some of her tricks. I've never met tougher. She did offer to teach me some of her bargaining tricks, though. He'll train you in how to use heavy armor, if you can pay for his time. It's a shame all the smaller bookstores are gone. I guess they just couldn't compete. It's a fine place, but I miss the personal attention I got at the smaller bookstores. If you're looking for a staff, that's the place to go. I'm not buying a discount spell. That's just a bad idea. Seems to me some things are worth paying full price for. Thoranir isn't too picky, which is nice. No question about it. Stonewall Shields has the best pieces of steel to hide yourself behind. I suppose if you need a shield, that's the place to go. You'll always leave stuffed, assuming you can keep it down. She gives good prices for your old equipment. It's good to know that there's a pawnbroker around. All three of them are nice folks. He has a good selection of soul gems and other things. He supports all your enchanting needs. Herbal keeps a lot of axes and maces. He seems to like big weapons. Claudette does a good job. Still, she should rename the place. It's a nice store, at least for alchemists. It's the finest light armor selection in the city. I prefer to just listen to people talk. Some of the conversations they have are truly remarkable. We could just listen to people talking. It's uncanny how informed people are. She must hate her job, people complaining to her all day. Dol Groshug always seems at ease in light armor. He moves well in it. I know that Dovanaran is getting up in years, but he still knows a bit about alteration. I understand Mandil has some rather nimble fingers. Samuel Bentian used to be able to pick any lock in the city. He's settled down now, though. If you're an alchemist, the main ingredient is a good place to shop. Rindir's Staffs is the best place in the city to buy a magical staff. Or is it Rindir's Staves? If you're looking for a shield, Stonewall Shields has a fine selection. There's some fine light armor at the best defense. Talk to Maro Rufus. Wow, Palaniria is a tough negotiator. Hard to get her prices down. If you need money fast, try Jensen's. You can sell almost anything there. You gotta like a store named Slash and Smash. Very good. Please follow me. Indeed, I am at your service. Really? May I see it, please? I believe my master would be very interested in this item. However, it is too late to disturb him. If you'll return in the morning, I'm sure he'll be glad to speak to you. I believe my master would be interested in speaking to you right away. If you'll just follow me. My master trusts me to decide what to show him, I'm afraid. As you wish. Good day. An impressive feat of arms, closing that Oblivion gate outside Leowin. What can I do for you?
Yeah, buy a goddamn book. It's a bookstore, ain't it? Don't just go peeking at them. Buy one. I'm Bugak Grabol, and I say you better buy a goddamn book, and right away, damn it.
I'm Itar. Say, did you hear what that Argonian said? What's his name? You know who I'm talking about. He said any Argonian can kick any Khajiit's butt to breakfast any day of the week. You believe that? I think he's wrong. I know Khajiit can kick Argonian butt. Anytime, anywhere. And you can tell everyone I said so. I'm Itar. Say, did you hear what that Khajiit said? What's his name? You know who I'm talking about. He said any Khajiit can kick any Argonian's butt to breakfast any day of the week. You believe that? I think he's wrong. I know Argonians can kick Khajiit butt. Anytime, anywhere. And you can tell everyone I said so. Sharavi runs a good inn, but she's awful with her sisters. I've heard Brodras at the Fighters Guild is well versed in using heavy armor, especially for a wood elf. Dagail has been training high-ranking mages more about mysticism. And he's also been researching sheep, from what I hear. Terrible jokes, just terrible. I've heard them. They're pretty stupid. He pays his debts, but his love of dogs is just odd. I've heard he leaves meat in his backyard to attract them. He's a bit crazy for dogs, from what I hear. He pays bets on time, though. I've heard that the dogs that Jabari keeps drive her crazy. I've also heard she knows a lot about acrobatics. Tisrava says the sound of Jabari's dogs drive her to distraction. Can't say I blame her. I understand they've been taking a lot of the contracts that used to go to the Fighters Guild. I don't trust them. I've heard they're effective, but they're brutal. Well, they argue a lot, but that's just their way. I don't think they're ever really angry with one another. I've heard them, and I think they just do it for fun. They seem to enjoy it, and it's all in good fun. I've heard him talk and talk and talk. Haven't heard anything useful yet, though. I salute you for your daring, hero of Kavach. You've proven yourself once again here at Skingrad. Welcome to Colovian Traders, Skingrad's finest selection of general merchandise. I'm Gunder. Just let me know what you want. Sorry, you want me? I'm Shumgro Yarog, the Count's butler. You want me? You sure? I'm Vigga. I'm Mage's Guild, but I don't train or anything. I saw Ugak Gramogak earlier. At least I think it was her. Perhaps it was her sister. I like the Two Sisters Lodge, and Mog does a good job running the place. She and her sister are both fine people. That Elsie God-hater sure has a chip on her shoulder. Great with a blade, but she really holds a grudge against the church. Falanu Hlalu runs a nice shop, but he's an odd one. I heard he left Morrowind under some odd circumstances. Marie Paliella is quite a hard worker. She's in the chapel day and night, tending to the sick and injured. I've heard some strange stories about Count Hasildor. I'm sure they couldn't be true, though. Shumgro Yarog is the butler in the castle Skingrad. Who ever heard of an orc butler? Plus, he's in that orc social club. What a joke. I think Adriana Barena is the ranking mage at the Mages Guild in town. Typical snooty mage. I've had about enough of Sir Lazar. He thinks he's so much better than everyone else. Undena Orethi grows some good tomatoes. Yep, they sure are good tomatoes. Gaston Cirilli and his brother David own one of the finest vineyards in all of Cyrodiil. I enjoy the wines that Tamika makes at her vineyard, and they're reasonably priced as well. Amal's at the Fighters Guild has gotten to be an expert on goblin hunting. He just hates the things. If I were in the Mages Guild, I think I'd study mysticism. Druzia was telling me a bit about it, and it sounds interesting. I think Bernadette Pinellas seems like a nice woman. I know she works tirelessly over at the Tamika Vineyards.
The will-o'-the-wisp is a luminous being. It has naturalized residences to many types of spells. I am resident to encounter the Minotaur. Its horny protuberances cause me great conflagrations. Trolls, I have been foretold, are particular to unflammable weapons. Though I am replicant to spread rumors, I am led to believe the phylogeny of skeletous beings makes them resistive to magic.
Those famous for good deeds may receive blessings of intelligence and magica when they visit way shrines of Julianus. Virtuous visitors to way shrines of Kinnereth may receive blessings of agility. When you visit a way shrine of Zenithar, and you've lived a good life by the 9, you may receive a blessing of luck. Those who live by the commands of the 9 receive blessings of strength when they visit way shrines of Tiber Septim. A good man who honors the 9 may visit the way shrines of Akatosh for blessings of speed and magica. If you've been good, way shrines of Dibella may bless your personality. The Colomian Highlands are barren wastelands along the border with Hammerfell. No one wants to live in the Gerald Mountains. Well, maybe in Bruma, but they're like nords. They don't feel the cold. Western Cyrodiil is called Colovia, and includes the Gold Coast, West Weald, and Colovian Highlands regions. Ancient way shrines of the 9 are scattered through the wilderness. The righteous who pray there receive powerful divine blessings. If you've done good deeds, the 9 will bless you and cure diseases when you visit their way shrines. Way shrines of the 9 in the wilderness confer blessings on the righteous and faithful. Way shrines of Arche confer blessings of health on those who please the 9 by righteous acts. Please the 9 with good works, and visit way shrines of Stendar for blessings of endurance. You've seen way shrines in the wilderness? Those who've pleased the 9 may receive blessings of willpower at the way shrines of Mara. The Heartlands and Nibelheim Valley are the agricultural breadbaskets of Cyrodiil. Where does our food come from? The Heartlands and the Nibelheim Valley. And Skingrad? Great wines, cheeses, and tomatoes. The lowlands of the Great Forest rise to the upland plateau of the Colovian West. The Great Forest was cleared for agriculture around Lake Ramar, but it's mostly wilderness outside of that. The Colovian Highlands, near the Hammerfell border, no one lives there. That's barren wastelands. High mountain ranges rise to the borders in the north and east, and marshes and rainforest extend to the southeast borders. It's our natural barriers that keep us safe, mostly. Mountain borders north and east, open sea to the west, and bogs and rainforest to the south. Cyrodiil is surrounded to the north and east by the lofty Gerald and Vallis mountain ranges. In the west, in Old Colovia, that's where men are men. That's the Gold Coast, West Weald, and Colovian Highlands. Nibelheim is a region of mixed farmland, parkland, and forest. With all the farms in Nibelheim, there's still plenty of forest and wilderness open for settlement. Nibelheim is bordered on north and east by rugged mountains, and to the south by marshes and rainforests. The people of Nibelheim consider themselves to be more civilized and sophisticated than Colovians. I'm not saying Colovians are dumb. They're just hard-headed. The Nibelheimans think they're slick. Slippery is more like it. Colovia is a land of rugged wastes and highland forests. Colovia is dotted with isolated farms and settlements, with most of the population in the coastal margin. The Colovians are proud of their reputation for being independent, rough, and rebellious. The imperial city is located on a large island surrounded by Lake Brumar. The imperial city is densely urbanized, with a few large parks and waterside dock areas. The imperial city itself is a walled city, with separate inner walls protecting the imperial palace. The lands surrounding Lake Rumar are studded with small settlements, farms, and woodland game reserves. The Nibelheim Basin grades from rolling farmlands by the river east to the rugged uplands of the Vallis Mountains. On Cyrodiil's northern border is the sparsely populated mountain wilderness called the Vallis Mountains. You can't be too careful out in the wilderness. Almost any creature you find is liable to give you a disease. Watch yourself around goblins. Some of the nastier ones will toss spells at you. Imps. I hate 'em. Little buggers flitting around, tossing fireballs at you. I saw a wraith once. It threw a curse on me I'll never forget. Have you seen a land dreg? We call them billies. Don't know why. Steer clear of them, though. I ran across a ghost once. Seemed to suck the energy right out of me. Watch for minotaurs in the forests. Aggressive beasts. They'll tear right through your armor, too. Mud crabs? What's the point? Annoying buggers, though the meat isn't bad. Only thing worse than an ogre is 2 ogres. Tough bastards, and spells seem to bounce right off 'em. Is there anywhere in Tamriel you can avoid rats? Disease-spreading little nuisances? Best way to take out a skeleton is with a big weapon. Forget spells. Just smack them and watch the bones fly. I might swim more if it weren't for the slaughter fish. Sharp teeth, and some carry disease. Spriggans. Nature's guardians, my foot. Mean things. They'll curse you, or they might call a bear to tear you apart. All that stuff about having to set trolls on fire is a bunch of hooey. They don't like fire, but a good sword will cut them up fine. I don't even know what a will-o'-the-wisp is, much less how to kill one. I think they're just swamp gas myself. I don't like to think about zombies. Missing arms, legs, heads. They smell awful, and they're hard to kill. The prettiest town in Cyrodiil? Oh, don't know. But the ugliest is Bravil. Shabby, tumble-down shacks. They're big shacks, though. Where to buy weapons? Where to buy anything, if you can afford to travel, is the market district in the Imperial City. My favorite town, Anvil. Lovely old stone buildings, and the harbor at sunset is beautiful. Ayleid ruins? The big thing is to watch out for the traps. Thousands of years old and still working. Amazing. I've seen plenty of Ayleid ruins. You'd think they'd be picked clean after 2,000 years, but no, there's still great treasures there. It's still pretty wild east of the Niben. Few people except for bandits, but at least it hasn't been picked clean by treasure hunters. Nobody goes into the mountains but hunters and thieves on the lam. Food and shelter is hard to come by. Blackwood isn't so bad once you get used to the flies. And being lost all the time, and the zombies and will-o'-the-wisps. There's islands in Niben Bay no one has visited in 100 years. No telling what you'll find. Well, it's no problem traveling from the Imperial City to Leyawiin, if you're a wizard and can walk on water. I'd stay off the roads, though. If you're all alone in the woods and you see a troll coming, you run. Problem solved. Next question. Fighting's easy. Just lead them out on the water and shoot them full of holes. If you've got a bow, of course, and can walk on water. Oh, the arena's faked. You think those guys are getting killed? Really? It's just berry syrup and ham acting. Have you ever met anyone who got rich betting on the arena? Didn't think so. The council runs the arena to amuse the masses, and it pays for itself, with all the fools who lose their shirts gambling. If you're on a road, you can usually outrun anything, if you're in good shape and not wearing a tin suit. Orcs don't ride horses. They eat horses. And sometimes I think they're the smart ones. Wait, maybe it's Dunmer who eat horses. Take Shadenall, for example. Pretty little town, but the Count's a dark elf, and it's crawling with orc thugs and gangsters. Try combining aloe vera leaves with some venison. It's said to have some restorative properties. You can find cairn bullet growing in caves. They're said to mark the place someone has died. It is said that eating taproot can bring you good luck. Make sure not to eat nightshade. It's very poisonous. Ships sail from Anvil Harbor for ports of call in Hammerfell, Somerset Isle, Yokuda, and the Western Isles. Nice, friendly folk in Anvil. Even the Countess greets me in the street. Well, except for that Newheim the Portly. He's a mean old scrote. You notice all the nords around here? It's partly because nords like ships and sailing. Mostly, we're sick of freezing our asses off in Skyrim. You see a sailor in the streets of Anvil, best step out of his way. If it's in his mind to raise hell, a little jail time is just fair payment. Anvil wouldn't be my choice for a refit. No proper yard, neither spars nor scantlings in good supply. But it's ill luck to complain. Traffic through Anvil Harbor comes mostly in exotic, high-profit goods, easy to transport by road or Mages Guild couriers to eastern markets. I've got a few hot prospects. I'm sure something will come through for me. Soon. Really soon. A local woman, Ursuna Luck, has a missing husband. She might appreciate some help from someone like you. It's a terrible responsibility, being Braville's first citizen of the ale tub, but I suffer under the burden like a sure green orc. I was with the Count when he was young, and a shining star on the tournament path. I only wish he'd straighten his son out. Been here, right here all day, last night too. I wasn't there. Not there at all. I can totally prove it. Ask anyone. I came here because I love nature. Because I didn't want to serve as a boot wizard in a mountain legion in Skyrim. This guild is going to hell in a hog cart. Look at what they give me. Keld of the Isles, Odinbar, both guardian rank. Pfft, useless. I've settled down here. Nice place. Little slow, but it suits me. Burrs grow kosh as a bear sometimes, but I got thick skin. Doesn't bother me. Ooh, look, a fly. Buzz, buzz. Hey, look, everybody, I'm talking to a fly. Buzz, buzz, buzz. You stupid or something? What are you doing here? Go back where you came from. We don't like your kind here. Oh, it's a grand house, Riverside, and they have grand parties there. All the rich swongs and swells of the town come in. Leave a right mess, they do. Boss uglies in Shadenall are the Orms. Don't mean nothing to you. You is the outside. Just stay outside, and everything's Mr. Tinker. Got me.
Treasure holes near Shadenall? Not close by. Fort Naso and Fort Fassian, though, bad news. Undead. And then some. But far out and foul enough. You'll get plenty of action.
Coral's got plenty to eat and good thick walls, and that suits me fine. I don't know what's going on out there in the woods, and I don't need to. Oh, there are a lot of fine-looking women in Coral, but they're all kind of snooty and not very nice. There are a lot of fine-looking women in Coral, but they're all kind of snooty and not very nice. I supply many fine city merchants with goods, all sorts of things, whatever I can buy cheap and sell dear. We rarely get real trouble here. The watch puts a stop to rough stuff damn quick. I'm mostly ornamental at the Bloated Float. Makes folks happy. I'm here because I'm a loafer, and the city's an easy place for a loafer to get by. I do odd jobs, a little adventuring, build up a little pile. Where else? You have to be here. This is the city, the big city. Why waste time in little places? You just have to know the right people. Look up Ida of Lenormand and Othrellis in the Elven Gardens. They're the right people. I'm quite behind on current events, I'm afraid. I can't be of any help to you. The Bloated Float rents beds. Only place on the waterfront. Cheap, and it's safe. Hard to find an orc girl in this city like Uma Gramarad. Smart, tough, got a good trade. Nice-looking, too. So I gotta make my intentions clear.
I've heard of him. What's it worth to you? Anything for you. He lives in the Temple District on the far east side. She lives on the waterfront. She's a late sleeper, though, in bed from sunrise till noon. She hangs out in the bloated float after sunset. Yeah, I've heard of her. I'm gonna need a few coins first, though. Always glad to do a favor for you. She lives on the waterfront. Wait until afternoon to find her. She sleeps from sunrise till noon. Amantius electus. Oh, thought you said Amantus lectus. Sorry, never heard of him. My memory's playing tricks on me. Can't seem to remember where she lives. And I can't help you. I've heard of her. What's it worth to you? No charge for you. She lives on the waterfront. Look to the northern end of the wall. No problem. He has an office on the first floor of the Imperial Palace. Try there. You looking for him? I might be able to help you for a donation. Always glad to help. Lex has an office at the top of the South Watchtower.
No, sir. Please don't hurt me.
Come to pay your respects, have you? You can find her tomb in the chapel Undercroft. He's kind of like a guild master for the Thieves' Guild. All I know is that the Doyen and other senior guild members do his bidding like trained dogs. The Imperial Watch has imposed a curfew. We have to remain in our homes until they catch the Grey Fox. Damn watchmen. I'll never tell those damn watchmen about the Grey Fox.
She's hiding in Denari Amnes's house in the Talos Plaza district. She's one of the few that escaped when Lex invaded the waterfront. Isn't he a wizard at the Arcane University? I think he lives somewhere in the Talos Plaza district. What's it worth to you? She is hiding in Denari Amnes's house over in the Talos Plaza district. She's one of the few that escaped when Lex invaded the waterfront. Then that's my answer. That's not very motivational. Sure, I know. I just need motivation. Isn't he a wizard at the Arcane University? I think he lives somewhere in the Talos Plaza district. Lex has pulled city guards from several districts to the waterfront. Last I heard, he was pacing the slums there.
An escaped prisoner! I'll separate your head from your shoulders. Get back to work. You should get back to work. Don't let the guards catch you. Are you here to rescue me? Why aren't you working? Yes? You must be the new slop drudge. Hey, you said you would unlock the door. Shouldn't you be feeding the prisoners, slop drudge? I need someone to slop food to the prisoners. I'll pay you 2 gold a week, plus half a loaf of bread and a glass of mead each day. I'm having trouble hiring these days, so if you want the job, it's yours. They sometimes need folks to work in the castle. Most are afraid to go up there, though. Try asking the butler, Shumgro Yarug. Escaping prisoners! You bastard! It's not like I killed her. I just roughed her up a bit. Nothing the healers can't fix. Every few days, she comes for one of us. Some return, some don't. Those that are taken 3 times never return. This was Theranos' 3rd time. I'm not surprised. Nobody wants that job. Let me know if you change your mind. It will probably still be available. Just unlock the door. A couple of hours after you're gone, it'll be quiet again, and I can sneak out. You mean the thief? He was in the big cell with that Argonian. They were always whispering to each other. The Pale Lady took him days ago. I ain't telling the likes of you. I don't know. She took the Argonian less than an hour ago, though. He put up quite a struggle. He was bleeding all over the place. Ancestor, guide my hands! Protect the ancestors! May you always wear soft silks. Shh! This is our time for silent prayer. You may wait outside or quietly in here. We usually finish around the 11th bell. What can this peaceful monk do for you, stranger?
There are torches in the barrel.
Hello, stranger. I hope you have found your stay here pleasant. Welcome to the Temple of the Ancestor Moths. You may join us for morning prayers in the chapel. We might be able to grow turnips next spring. The latest batch of silk is ready, Brother Hiridi. Brother Hiridi, your homily was most inspiring. The silk gardens are doing well, Brother Hajar. Brother Hajar, we must clean the chapel soon. The cemetery is well tended, Brother Holger. Brother Holger, we need to prepare for the ritual of purity by the next full moon. Are this month's silks ready?
I've heard of it. Are you willing to make a donation? Anything for a friend. The moth priests live in the Imperial Palace. I don't know exactly what they do. Something to do with the Elder Scrolls. When they are too old or too blind to work, they are sent to the Temple of the Ancestor Moths. What I've heard is that they live in total darkness in a secret underground labyrinth. They are masters of fighting in the dark. If you intend to visit, make sure you bring lots of torches or a lantern or something.
We serve the retired moth priests from the Imperial City. The work they do leads to progressive blindness. They live in utter darkness in the secret catacombs. Of course, it doesn't affect them because they're blind. I don't understand what you mean. We can see just fine.
Ah, fresh bread tonight. The moth priests live in the Imperial Palace. I don't know exactly what they do. Something to do with the Elder Scrolls. When they are too old or too blind to work, they are sent to the Temple of the Ancestor Moths. What I've heard is that they live in total darkness, in a secret underground labyrinth. They are masters of fighting in the dark. If you intend to visit, make sure you bring lots of torches or a lantern or something. Right. I'm told it's a place where old priests care for moths that spin silk. Okay, I'll show you, but only because you are my dear friend. Follow me.
Please be discreet and don't bother the other monks. I can't reveal that. It would be far too dangerous. I don't know you that well. He's the court wizard. He has a room in the north wing. Gloomy fellow. I've heard he consorts with Daedra. I'd steer clear of him if I were you.
I can help. The Earl of Imbel has a home in the Talus Plaza on the inner wall. He's an odd one. Keeps to himself mostly. Only goes out after dark. A real night owl. I heard he moved to Bruma. I'd look for him there. Bless you. Ongar lives behind the temple. Bless you. Thothus Uls lives in the middle of the Elven Gardens district. Bless you. There's none in this town, but you could try Broma. Bless you. There's none in this town, but you could try Leowin. Bless you. There's none in this town, but you could try Bravil. Bless you. There's none in this town, but you could try Anvil. Bless you. There's none in this town, but you could try the Imperial City. I don't think there are any fences in this town.
I heard what you did. So did the Guild Doyens. You've been cast out of the Thieves' Guild. Go talk to Armand or Scriva. Pay the fine, and you'll be reinstated. Shadow hide you. I see you are with the Grey Fox. Do you need a fence? I'm really tired. Can we get on with this? The Doyen are the hands and eyes of the Guildmaster. You take your orders from them. You get your favors from them. The current Doyen are Armand Christophe and Scriva. We don't talk about him in public. The Thieves' Guild follows the Grey Fox. However, we make sure that most folks think he's just a myth. Well, sometimes the Guild gets a special commission. You know, guaranteed pay to acquire certain items for special clients. You should check in with your doyen every once in a while to see if there are any commission jobs available. Armand Christoph and Skriva have special arrangements with the guards and judges throughout Cyrodiil. They can make all your outstanding warrants go away for only half the price of the fines.
Captain Lex blames the Grey Fox for stealing the tax collection. He wants a bounty put on the Grey Fox, but the Legion commander has refused. There was a murder in the chapel. It happened when a thief was caught trying to rob Lathasa's tomb. Did you hear? The Countess was robbed. Someone stole her family ring. Count Umbranox has returned. After 11 years, he just walked back into Anvil. The Imperial Watch seems awfully worried about the Grey Fox. Look at all those wanted posters. My cousin says the beggars all work for the Grey Fox. It's rather frightening. Amantius Electus is complaining about crime in the city. Someone actually broke into his house and stole his diary. The Grey Fox made a fool of Hieronymus Lex. While half the watch was in the waterfront, thieves made off with half the rest of the city. Did you hear? Hieronymus Lex was reassigned to Anvil. Is there a new captain of the guard? I thought I saw him walking the rounds. The Earl of Inbil was attacked and killed in his own home. I heard the body burned in the sunlight. They say a thief actually stole one of the Elder Scrolls from the Imperial Library. Who would have thought it was even possible?
Yeah, it's her camp. I don't know where she is, though. For that matter, I don't know who she is either. No one was here, so I thought I'd settle in. Hello there. Welcome to Aaron's camp. Nope, don't feel like it. Too bad for you. You came all this way for training from Aaron? You must be really disappointed that she's not here.
Well, I haven't ever seen her, so I guess you're out of luck there. But if you want, I could train you. I'm pretty skilled myself.
And I could always use the money.
Look for Andragil. You can find her living in Breville. If you need more training, you'd better head to Breville and track down Andragil. She taught me a few things I didn't know.
Get back, you filthy beast. I'll have nothing to do with the likes of you. No, stay away from me.
You won't get any of my blood. Stay away from me.
Is everything all right? You look a bit ill.
A vampire! Away! Everyone, run!
Die, unholy monster.
You should really get to a healer. You're looking rather pale.
Are you not feeling well? Is everything all right? You look a bit ill.
Vampire! Unclean beast! Die! A vampire! Away! Everyone, run!
Have you been well recently? Your skin looks a bit off.